Hey guys, how are you?
Hey,
Good. How are you?
Good. So to start, I want to talk about boy band boot camp later. I first want to know, apart from the obvious, were there any boy bands that you guys were told to look to try and understand how the group dynamic works and how they all function as a boy band?
I don't
I
think
don't.
we were given any like direct boy bands to watch. It was kind of like do your homework, show up, and then we're gonna make something of our own. Um, but there's a plethora of sources that you can check out and be inspired by. I'm sure we all have our different you know references, but it was really just like we built the band together, and with Danny Vitale and her team. Um, and with Savan and the music, it was kind of just like let's make this as real as possible and make this new as well.
I think what for me what made it real wasn't like trying to go off of reference of any like existing boy bands. It was more so after the fact when we met, just spending time together after the rehearsals, hanging out, whatever, whatnot, that like building a bond. And that's what really made it believable. Because it's at the end of the day, it's a band, it's just a group of friends performing. So that's what it was for me.
And I think that's also like what a lot of those top tier boy bands that we've like seen over the years have, and that's why they are as successful as they are, other than their music, of course. And just like yeah, like that connection had to be built, and the stage presence, and I think it was just like taking little bits from different people too.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I want to go again. I'm getting to get to boy band boot camp. I feel like I'm just going to like continue to be like if we're getting there eventually. But I do love again that we're in the plethora of not the plethora. You guys join the echelon is what I meant of fake bands that have really good music because I feel like for a while there we weren't really doing the like fake band and movie thing anymore, and it was upsetting because some of those are the best songs, like "Pop Goes Your Heart" from Sick and Lyrics, and then when we got Four Town, I was like, cool, we're back to like here's this fake band and their music. Do you, each of you have a favorite one of those outside of August Moon that you were like, I loved this fake thing that existed in movies but wasn't a real band?
I can only think of like this is this is all real music from real band. Um, but I can only think of School of Rock. I wish I could see those kids live. Like that would be fun.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, you're correct.
yeah, but I can't think of anything that's a fake band, fake music, or not fake music, but
I lived for the Cheetah Girls. I know they weren't like like a boy band per se, but the Cheetah Girls, Cheetah Sisters, all the way.
little tidbit. My dad made that music.
What?
Yeah.
And
I didn't even know that.
how could you
What?
not think of that? You're like, oh, I can't think of
Oh, the
anything.
the first the first movie, all of that,
The
that whole
best.
album.
That's crazy.
And you
Yeah.
couldn't think of anything that you're like Disney royalty right there.
Photo's not wrong. You are Disney royalty by that one. Cheetah Girls.
You and Anne Hathaway, both y'all.
And Vic and Jaden, any ideas of the fictional boy
Um,
band or bands?
I mean, I don't know. The only one was Big Time Rush real band or were they fake?
They were a real band. They opened.
Okay. I had no
Well,
clue. I just
well,
remember watching Nickelodeon when I was a kid, and I wanted the same haircut as the guy who had that coconut shape. Anyways,
yeah.
yeah, that's the only reference I have. That's why I didn't say nothing.
The only like fake band that's in my head right now, it's not even a band, but like show that had fake artists is Austin and Ally, like their duo.
I remember
I
that.
don't know if they obviously he now has pursued a music career. I don't know if they were an actual duo, but that was yeah, I loved that show, and
Are
that's the
all
only
these choices Disney?
I don't
yes.
want to talk about
Pretty
it.
much, yeah.
I don't want to talk about
Terrible.
I do like the Big Time Rush because One Direction famously opened for Big Time Rush, and then Big Time Rush is still around, but it was not One Direction fame. So
Mm.
there's very you were like, is that a real band? And we're like, that's the
Yeah.
Big
I'm
Time
just so
Rush.
unfamiliar with, to be honest, so that's why.
Uh,
The story of their
You'll
life.
you'll apologize.
No. I'm not taking it back. It's okay.
He's correct. Now
Just
to get
editing
into
it.
the boy band camp of things, the I assume, you know, it is a whole different mindset for an actor to like dive into something like that, because it is, you're learning the choreography, you're learning a different kind of stage presence versus, like, you know, like theater or being on stage as an actor. What was for each of you the most surprising thing that you learned about yourself as a performer through boy band boot camp?
I think like less is more, because coming from like a performance and dance background, you want to do like the most. So then it was like honestly learning how to dial back and just uh just live in like the singing aspect and really try to sing even though like, we're not actually singing. But yeah, that was for me like the subtlety of it all.
Yeah, I just echo that. It's it's so easy compared to dancing.
Yeah.
Like that's all I really thought. I was just like, dang, you really like, I mean, I don't want to take anything away from artists, because also I mean, you have to have the awareness and the knowledge that yes, less is more, like Michael Jackson could just like move his feet and then the crowd would lose their minds. And that's a presence that a dancer isn't really familiar with, but a performer is. Um, yeah, I think yeah, that's it.
I think also just working as a group, how much the chemistry mattered
Mhm.
was really cool to see how it changed from when we first started like doing boy band boot camp to the end, and
Mhm.
when you see the final product of how the chemistry between us reads on stage, like that's magic that you can't really rehearse, but strangely enough, it's all that time rehearsing together that made it and made the boy band feel so real, like we had history, because we did.
And I think like adding on to that, that's like what made it so I hate to say easy because there was a lot of work put in, but
Mhm.
kind of just easy for us to get this camaraderie and like this overall vision for the band together. And like I think when we first started doing the performances in the studio, in the mirror as a group, recording them and watching them back, I was like, wow, like I mean, you could progressively see through each like that we were getting better, but yeah, it was definitely a moment.
And I also am obsessed though with the, it's not even necessarily in the movie, but the PR around the band that has happened as like the promo for the movie. Because like I grew up with a lot of boy bands and like was in high school and college when One Direction got really popular. So I was obsessed with it. But to see you guys kind of get to live out those like images that have been now become tied to boy bands, when you got to do that side of things, which is not necessarily like the movie, but like taking photos and doing a photo shoot that was going to be used for PR, did you guys have a lot of fun with the idea of like, yeah, we're just going to play into those tropes that these boy bands have kind of had to deal with throughout the years?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, a lot of the PR was just a chance for us to be silly with each other,
Hmm.
and that was like what was so great about it,
Mhm.
And I think that's probably what's so great about a lot of boy band PR photo shoots and whatnot. It's like it's this thing that's supposed to sell. It's like a professional thing, but really, like we just took it as an opportunity to hang out, shoot the shit. Sorry, I don't know if that's a problem.
I don't care.
Um, yeah, it was just like an opportunity to like hang out and make each other laugh, and it's also like we do hang, but when we hang, we don't really talk too much about this movie, and now we get to like celebrate, like, oh yeah, we did do this movie, and it was so long ago, um, and so now we get to like, yeah, we're excited and reliving this thing that was so much fun.
I think it's also like you know, as I don't, no, maybe not for everyone, but I do feel like almost everyone at some point in their life has wanted to be a pop star or like seen as somebody in on stage or something and emulated them, wanted to. And I think it's just like a super fun thing that, of course, we are at work and being professional, but at the same time, we kind of do get to just live this image and this experience that is so fun. And yeah, we kind of just all had a blast together.
Yeah. Dakota, I do have to ask. I think it's so funny that we see Rory in like the obviously is the band scenes, and then for a moment at the table, and then he has just talked about so much despite not getting to really talk to Izzy and be like, yeah, that's Izzy's favorite. When you were reading it, were you like, I can do like a scene where me and Izzy just like hang out because Hayes is there and I show up?
It was really fun to like read about, because I hadn't read the book. To be honest, I didn't know it was a book till I got to Atlanta to shoot. And then when they were doing the read throughs, and I heard that, I just kind of giggled to myself, oh, that's so funny. And it wasn't until I got to like meet the rest of the cast and stuff too, I was like, oh, this is gonna be so fun and so easy. And regardless of what scenes they have us do, I was like, this is gonna be a fun movie to watch and a fun movie to shoot. So yeah, I got to giggle to myself, and I just I had a blast, honestly, regardless of how much Rory got to make an appearance. It was fun. The whole thing was just fun the whole way down.
Also,
Yeah.
in that sequence, there's a cameo of our choreographer. She's like the boy band handler. She like ushers us into our seats. That's our choreographer, if anyone's
Tidbit.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. And Vik, I was gonna say, I do love that when, the rest of some of the boys are like, we're gonna go to this nice house and hang out with the girls, relax. Simon is like, nah, I'm gonna go on, I'm going to Ibiza, I think is where
Yeah, he
Simon
had
ended
different
up going.
plans. Yeah, Simon and Rory, I think, were in.
Yeah, we got other things to do.
Yeah, they were.
But when you guys get to like see that stuff, you're like, all right, cool, that's this guy. He's like, I'm not hanging out with you guys, I'm going to somewhere else. Does that change at all how you like do the little interactions with the group? Because they are so important for us to understand those dynamics.
Yeah,
Does that inform what you guys are doing at all?
I mean, it kind of like gives us framework of like, okay, Rory and Simon are like closer friends, for example, so then it gives us like a little more chemistry on stage, for example, or like whatever else, like on the plane when we're like playing whatever in between. So yeah, it kind of gives us little hints of like, okay, like they're more friends, they're in Ibiza like with girls, and then the rest are in France, like whatever. So that's the.
Yeah. Oh, I love it so much. And Jaiden, for my last quick question, I just want to clarify. It was you that the lady was obsessed with on the poster, correct?
Yeah, yeah. When she runs into Anne and she's like, "Are you a moonhead?" Or yeah, yeah, yeah. It was me,
Yeah.
I believe.
Like, I assume getting to know that like this lady who has a featured cameo and is just sitting there in the poster has to feel good, right? To like, for I guess for all of you too, to see that you're like, yes, this is my fan featured in this movie. Like, I get her.
Yeah, it was cool. I got to like talk to her a bit and meet her while we were on set. So we had a little like fun little key, and she was super sweet. So, and it's cool. I think like I think it's awesome that they bring up the band members so much in the movie, even if we're not in every scene. Yeah, they keep us alive.
Yeah, it's so much fun. I loved how you guys were all introduced. I think it's such brilliant filmmaking that the band is introduced by just literally being at the meet and greet and everyone saying each other's names. I think it's so good. But thank you guys so much for talking with me. I loved this movie a lot, and I think people are going to really like it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
This
you
was great.
guys. Bye.